Order. Let the minutes show this is the regular fiscal report, November 25th, 2025. This time I want to welcome everybody here today. And if you have a cell phone, if you don't mind, put it on silence your cell phone, please. So at this time we'll stand and do the pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father, thank you for this day. Father, we thank you for this warm, dry building that we can meet in. Father, we thank you for all the many blessings that you give our community. We pray that you will watch over this court and watch the work that they do and that it will be pleasing to you. God, I pray that you be with our military men and women as they fight for our freedoms abroad. We pray for our law enforcement officers that protect us here at home, and we also pray for our first responders, Lord. Just keep them all safe and keep them well. In Jesus' name, amen.
Okay, need a motion to approve the minutes for November 10th, 2025. Motion.
Yeah.
Okay, motion by Scott and second by Clay. All in favor, say aye. Budget transfers, motion please.
Make the motion.
Motion by Benji, second by Scott. All in favor, say aye. Invoice approval, motion.
I have one question, and I guess Debbie's not here.
No.
So there was nothing from solid waste, so I don't know if that meant there was zero expenses. I assume that's probably, PJ, did you spend any money this month?
No,
File any invoice?
not this one, no.
No.
Okay, I can follow up with on those, it just said, so, just other than that, but I'll make a motion to approve, I can follow up with her on that.
Okay, motion by Scott, second by Clay. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Proposal for, we got I-League here, and they have a proposal for the county park playground refurbishment project for them, if they would like to talk about what they want to do now.
I'm Christopher Perez.
I'm Evan also.
I'm Ray Blood. I'm Mayor Paul.
And we're all students from Ivy Academy. Today we want to propose our idea for the third playground at the Carroll County Park. So the purpose of this project is to build a playground near the soccer fields so the parents and the families and children of the soccer families that play can have a playground that's safe and near them, that they can safely watch the children while they're at the games. And for the OFU trailers in the area, that way there's a playground that's not on near the baseball fields and the tennis fields, but also near the soccer fields as well. And to do this, we're going to use the equipment from the old playground that was taken out to replace with new equipment. We're going to refurbish it and make it look nice and proper and make it safe. And we're going to place it near the soccer fields for easy access. Yes.
This is the project timeline, obviously today, but we're hoping by December 8th to have the equipment moved. The specific location hasn't been decided yet, but hopefully we can figure that out sometime today or tomorrow. And then on that same day, we're going to be figuring out what equipment we have, what we might need, get a count of everything. And by December 10th, 4 to 6 weeks, that's just predicted time, how long it'll take to prep the equipment for it to be new, or refurbished. And then we move on to phase 2, February 5th. Hopefully, if the weather's all right, we'll be preparing the ground for, I think it just needs mulching. And I'm pretty sure. And then by February 19th, hopefully we have equipment ready for the construction of the playground. Then we move on to phase 3. We're given the whole month of March to construct it. A lot of wiggle room just in case something happens with the weather or whatnot. And then we're hoping to have this project done by April 15th and open.
So this is an overview of the Carroll County Park. We're going to place it in this location, which was recommended by the Carroll County Parks and Rec coordinator, which is parallel with the baseball fields near the soccer fields over here. Most of the soccer events happen in this location or in this location, so it'll be close to the fields, but not too close to the road, so the children won't be running out in the road or a danger of anything having to do with that. And it'll also be shaded by the trees, so it's not too hot in the summertime. Here's a closer view with the CAD model of the scaled current playground that we reassemble and refurbish. We would have most of it underneath the trees, that way there's shade overheat.
So right here, we have the budget. We split it up into categories of items, costs, and quantity. We decided to go with this since it'll show us how much we would be able to get, what materials, and the quantities of it.
So our total here, this is an approximate total. We budgeted some extra funding in case we need more of a certain item or a certain material. Like Chris was saying, we've gotten a cost to purchase everything as locally as we can to help support our local businesses. Our total cost before our extra that we budgeted is about $3,700. So we're well in budget for that. Our total could change depending on if we could find things cheaper at other locations or other local locations, or if we were to need more of something or less of something, we would see that reflected in the total. The extra funds would go to, like I said, any extra materials or hardware or just unexpected costs that we might encounter. I think that's everything we have. Is there any questions?
Yeah, first of all, outstanding job. So are you guys doing this as part of the cornerstone project? Or so this is, you're all seniors in?
Clear juniors, how we're doing it.
We're seniors. No, I mean, I think that's a great proposal. I haven't given it a lot of thought to it, so it's good that, what the people think about this, because there is, when soccer is up and coming, and there's lots of people not play, so I think it's outstanding. And if a lot of the old, the old playground equipment still has some life, and you gotta give it a little paint, a little touch up, and I think, so I think it's very, I think, put a lot of thought into it. Honestly, don't have any questions.
Clay?
Y'all looking for funding from us for this?
So I'll add on to that. We had the $250,000 budgeted for the playgrounds this coming year. We spent $200,000 of that, so there's $50,000 left over in those lines. Of course, we got to pay for mulching for all 3 locations if we go through with this. So that's going to be a big chunk of that $50,000. But talking with Debbie and David, we believe we could cover that $4,000 out of that line.
Yeah.
Great project.
The only thing I'm thinking of is, did we cut any of that? None? Okay. That's what my question was.
Just taking that back.
We left the whole 250 on that line item, so.
I think it's a great project. I think we need to move forward with it. What's the,
My question, I got a quick question, personally. The existing equipment that was left at the old playground, are we going to repaint that to match the new equipment?
Yes.
that's the plan. They was going to give us paint.
Okay.
I've done got that worked out.
Okay.
So I've got a question, I guess, as far as liability for the county. Do we have to have this once it's installed, formally inspected by a qualified, somebody that's familiar with this to make sure that it's all good to go?
Say it again, I'm sorry.
From a liability perspective, do we need to have, once it's installed, have it all formally inspected and so forth to make sure, we're.
Yeah, we will.
Okay. And I guess the folks that, I know it's game time equipment we installed with the company that actually installed it. I would say maybe reach out to them, see if they volunteered a little bit of time too to help us.
We can do that.
Yeah, just to see if they get us.
We spend plenty of money with it.
That's what I mean.
I'll
So
talk to Josh.
hopefully they come down and spend a day or two with us because obviously they know what they're doing. So,
Right.
No, fantastic job. Absolutely support it.
I think, we need, Rick and one of them out there on maintenance personnel when we start doing that and whatever, mark it off, but all the playground equipment, not the new here, but what previous have been inspected by Carroll here in the last couple of months ago, and we just got a letter on all of our buildings and park equipment and all that, so everything passed that way.
I would just make sure when you're doing the grading, that the mulch has to be a certain depth before you throw insurance, and Rick or JP can give you that to make sure we can change.
There's only, right now, there's only two places that make that, or that have the 1x1 block, whatever, have on that double screen. That's, there's one in Crestwood, National Parks that we've used before, and there's another one in Fleming County.
I just wanna make sure when they're doing the grading, the prep work, that we.
Yeah, that, for fall zones and everything, yes, sir.
So one last comment. Last comment. With the railroad ties, they got creosote and all of that type of stuff, and I know it's an alternative material they use now, but has there been any exploration of other alternatives with order that are maintenance-free, safe, all those type of things? Because wood eventually rots and all. So I guess it's just a question you guys look at alternatives for that.
I think the reason that we chose the railroad ties is because that's a relatively, it's a very cost-effective choice. And as far as maintenance, they're treated obviously, so they'll last a lot longer than if you were to just put regular boards in.
Agreed, yeah, but I know there's like alternatives like they're using that point bar.
Rick, what are we using for the new? Are we putting a different border in?
It's got the original wooden border on both of them right now.
Yeah, and I would hope that we upgrade that. I mean, we're putting all this money in, let's make the border nice too. And it's something that's easier to mow and trim around, but I don't know, it's just an observation.
Those borders are both looking at now about 4 years old. Well, I can't remember if it was the beginning of your guys' term or the end of the last, the previous board. I can't remember exactly. I have to go back and look.
But they went in and did a remulch when this court took over.
I'm sorry?
They did a remulch when this court took over, I believe.
Just prior to that.
Yeah, we usually do remulch about every 2 years.
So that would be the only consideration, I guess, just
We'll look at, we can maybe help you out with the borders and stuff like that.
and if there's a little bit of an upcharge on it, I don't think you need to worry about it. I think we will support that either way.
We'll get it taken care of.
Good job.
All right, thank you all.
I guess we don't need to
No.
document it unanimous, of course. Great job, y'all.
Alrighty, moving on. The first reading is amendment to personnel policy to add the security camera use in the daily.
Judge, if you can, it's not the personnel policy, it should be the administrative code is what it needs to be.
So if I have a question, can we table that for next meeting since we just got it and had a chance to look at it?
We sure can.
Yeah, I'll make a note.
Second.
And I guess that would be so, which one are we talking about? Not that one.
It's one day to give you, I give you the resolution, but that's the basics, you need the policy.
Okay.
Table. You got a motion to table,
Second.
second by Benjamin, all in favor, say aye. Okay. Okay, got a ascendance here for facility partners, for phase 2 approval to move on with that. We have approval to do that. Stuart, you have anything to talk about?
Just for a real quick presentation, if you want, just some of the slides that we talked about in the work session.
That what the courthouse is gonna look like when it's done.
Yeah, so this is, let's figure out how to display things.
Should be able to slide that on the,
Yeah. Hey, yes, sir. All right. Without further ado, just real quick, I'm Stuart Shunt with Ascendant Facility Partners, and we are at the culmination of a long journey that started a year and a half ago to help Carroll County upgrade and rejuvenate the courthouse itself, and more importantly, clock tower. So this is the second phase of the projects that we've been working with Carroll County, and we're very excited to be here today to get the approval to move forward. So we are here, project update. So we met with Fiscal Court last week in a work session, went over the final details of the project, made sure everybody was comfortable with what we're doing and how we're going about it and the potential look that it's going to have. So the next step is review the final contract, which Mr. Nick, County Attorney, has done and just gave me a couple things to change, so we should be good to go. And we're looking for approval today to move forward with the approval of the contract.
Hello.
I love technology when it works.
Yes, sir.
No, that's not the right one. My bad, guys. This was the one we did for the courthouse minutes. If you're not aware, this is a very famous fountain in Rome, and it just happened to be like the most busy screensaver I could possibly get today. And it just showed up automatically, but if you've never been there, it's spectacular. All right, here we go. Here we go. So, architectural rendering of what the courthouse will look like when it's completed. This isn't all the way as exact, but this is what we've discussed with the fiscal court. And some of the key components now, for those of you that have not been above here, is right now there's open trusses with plywood laying down after you go up through where the voting machines are. and you gotta walk in and walk through that, up some wood stairs. All this is gonna be redone, it's gonna be fully decked. And then up here on this level, with 2 stairs going up as well. And up here on this level, there's openings currently there that have drains inside. And those drains get clogged up, and also when they like this cause some of the leaking that's going on. So based on some expertise recommendations from Fiscal Court, we're going to cover those up and have those enclosed so there's no longer the openings there, which is going to be really good. So this is all going to be new roofing and decking, and then we're going to redo each floor as we go up all the way to the clock tower. Now, if you notice, we're going to have these partitions brought out on each side of the clock tower that are currently flat, and they'll give it a more robust look for the clocks that are in there. And here's another shot of it. You get a better view. They'll have some fencing. This will all be brand new. Everything except for the bell will be brand new. New clock dials, numbers, backlit, specialized lighting that can change with the seasons. It'll have spotlights that are illuminating the clock tower, have a weather vane on top. So it's really going to look nice when we get it done. And it's going to be a lot better for the weather elements. Right now, the cladding that is on there is aluminum about the thickness of your garage door. And it's been up there for a very long time, and it's just come loose. And so there's a lot of, obviously, weather penetration on days like this. So that's all going to be taken care of, all be brand new, all flashing around the roof will be brand new. The systems, it'll really look nice when it's done. Here's another shot of it. And then these, on a couple of the sides, will have hinges. So Rick, when he needs, or if he needs to get outside to do anything, they have doors and go out right now. They can't do that right now. So that'll be a nice option to have for the sustainability of it long term. So the skin, if you will, of the tower itself will be similar, a little thicker than it is now, and it'll all be a nice color that matches the rest of the historic aspect of the courthouse, which is very important. And then this next slide, this is what you're going to look now, but this is for the windows and the new doors that are going in. So part of this process is all the windows and doors all around the courthouse facility itself are going to be upgraded to double pane glass. And then they'll have based on the pictures that we saw of the early days of the courthouse, we're going to get these to look very similar to back how it was in the 1800s from a view standpoint. And they'll have new doors coming in. I think they're all going to be glass. These were just plug-in doors, but they'll be glass doors, and then there'll be security locking mechanisms versus everybody having to use a key right now with codes. So you have a keypad. We're still working on what the final is going to be on that, but it is going to be more secure. We're going to try and get away from everybody having a key to get in and open it at certain times, things of that nature. The windows themselves will have a ability to open only about this much on each floor if they want to be open, and then have the ability in a safety aspect on the bottom floor, if you open it up to make an emergency exit, you can just pop the tops and go all the way up if anybody needs to get out. So they'll still be able to have some fresh air aspect of the windows going forward. The front, or the south facing, and the rear will have a darker tint to the windows for energy efficiency and just glare control. That's an issue on the sunny days. And then the north side will have a tint, but it won't be as dark. So it'll be dark, obviously, on the south facing side than it will be on the north. So that'll be a nice improvement as well. So the nice part about it is when it's all done, this will be gone. Those will be enclosed. So it'll have a real nice look all the way around with the courthouse facility. I think Rick has done some LED upgrades on the lower lights here that you noticed with the nicer spotlights. And we're going to have some here and here that shine up on the tower. And then you'll also be able, someone will have the app that they can change the LED lights on the clock tower itself to represent different times of the year. So here's the next steps in the timeline. We're right here now with the contract financing approval, I think. At least approving the contract and move forward. A couple of needs urgency. We are getting notice that some of the pricing increases are going to happen after January 1st. They're going to be pretty substantial, so we're going to be locking those in. We're currently locking those in right now with our partners on what we're doing. So we're going to go right at issuing those things. We'll start mobilization. Trade 31 and the window and door provider are going to get going. This project includes a new roof on the jail, which has been much needed. And so we'll start on that ASAP. And that roof that we're doing there at the jail will also include a solar array that will generate about $5,000 a year in energy savings. So priority is locking in materials, timing, all materials for windows and doors, and get the jail roof started. We plan on starting construction in January, and then we're going to work around building scaffolding up and working on the tower itself. So it'll all be set up that we've talked extensively about egress and being able to enter the courthouse during construction, make sure it's all safe. So there'll be a lot of weekly, sometimes meetings on that, and communications going out to the county departments, just making sure that people are aware of which door to use this week or not use. Window replacements, we're going to try and time those to the lowest disruption we can and work around that as well. So it'll be somewhat fluid, but it'll be managed and fluid, and we'll do our best to minimize disruption to the courthouse operation. So that's where we see this all being. A lot of it starting in January, and then you'll see scaffolding going up, you'll see projects being, materials being laid down. I think we'll probably use some of that ground that we're using now, Tony, behind the jail for some of the other things. We're going to use that part and finish that off. I know there's a concurrent project, looks like it's going on with the city, probably at the same time, so we're going to work with them to manage traffic flow and make sure we don't disrupt anything for the business all around the square. So we plan to be done by late fall and have it ready to go by this time next year with the brown turkey lights shining up for Thanksgiving. So that's pretty much it. Any questions, comments? I want to thank the fiscal court for all their participation. We've really worked together for a long time on this to get it right for the county. Something to know.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, I've got a question real quick. On the doors, are those going to be full glass doors?
We haven't decided yet.
Well, because as a security issue, I mean, that is an absolute nightmare on public buildings. So a full glass door, I don't think should even be an option, which is my opinion.
Yeah, I think we're looking like a half and half or something.
I don't think it's full, but
Okay.
what they were looking at is the ones that Trimble County Courthouse.
Yeah.
And they put full glass doors in.
Yeah.
So we're looking at something similar to this, Sheriff. Is there, something like that, or we want to be able for people to see if there's others coming out going
Sure.
at that. But we're with you there on the glass and the part of the face. We looked at getting, maybe some with some chicken, safety glass,
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah, I think that'd be a great idea.
Yeah, so we want to make sure it's safe as well. Couple of quick things to mention before I forget. There are $1 million worth of tax credits that are going to be applied for doing this project. There's an $850,000 historic tax credit that Matt has been working on with our team, and also a $150,000 investment tax credit that will be utilized for the implementation of the solar. So that's a pretty significant reduction in the cost of $1 million that will be given back to the county in tax credits. So that's exciting as well. We want to get that going before those go away in July of next year. Any other questions?
How is this going to affect the third floor offices during construction?
It shouldn't.
Okay.
I mean, might be some clanging and banging, unusual, but we don't anticipate there being any. There's been discussion, I think, where's your office?
Third floor,
Next to
next to the voting
It's
machine.
opposite of where the voting machines are at on the other side.
There's been discussion about moving the voting machines full time. The egress, or as far as what we're going to do, we told everybody at the elevator's off limits, as far as contractors. outside. If there's anything that needs to be done, they're gonna be doing stairs. But I think if anything, it'll just be traffic and clanging and banging. When they start laying the decking back there and what have you. But we'll make sure we're gonna have everybody informed about timing and what to expect. So we start jacking something when somebody's trying to do something important. It'll be weekly meetings at least, and there'll be a look ahead email that goes out. Matt's gonna be probably the project coordinator on it, so we'll distribute it to Matt, and then Matt can kind of shoot it out to everybody, make sure everybody knows what to expect. We're all reachable. We'll have 2 project managers on the job, and Ray at the hold me as well. So, good question. I'll make sure that we nail that down.
Quick question. When you all are on site, would there be any opportunities for our future engineers to job shadow with this company while they're working on the project?
I don't see why not.
Okay. I appreciate that, Mr. Abstract and Ms. Shirley.
Yeah, if you want to shoot Ryan Baker that information, we'll need that. Ryan Minor, who will be the manager, and myself, and Shirley. We welcome that. Just make sure they got the PPE, if they're going to be given the big orange vest you got to wear, and heavy, the full coverage.
They're always safe, right, Mr. Abstract?
Yes.
Always.
Never a problem. Yeah, that's great. So, great questions. Looking forward to helping the jail out with coffee. Get rid of all the roof leaks. Helping out clerk. Yes, ma'am.
You had said that sometimes different entrances would be closed off. When this one's closed, will there be a temporary ramp
Yes.
in front? Okay.
Yeah, we talked about the ADA compliance,
Okay.
wheelchair accessibility and all that. So, we're going to have to work around that. We brought that up. We don't want to, again, don't want anybody not to be able to.
Right. We have a lot of customers.
We've
And
already,
when we have voting, we're required.
Yep.
we've already covered that, so make sure that we don't have any kind of thing messed up that way.
Good questions. And you're all, free when we have the project progress meetings. You're all welcome to the department to come in and be a part of it, just so you know what's going on as well. We'll have them probably right here, like we're doing with the energy savings project. So we'll make sure that you get a calendar of those. And if you got anything, we want to make sure that Matt has something you want to bring to the table, concern, question, feel free to engage.
But the anonymous other than Matt is going to be the contact from here, and then Rick's going to be kind of here to oversee some of this stuff, so we know where it's going. So Matt will be working with Rick, vice versa. So he's our maintenance man, so we know what's going on. If there's anything different, anything's changed for him.
Thanks for bearing with me on the tech setup there.
Well, we know, Ryan wasn't here, so we'll cut you some slack on
I
that.
appreciate that.
Little holiday grace there.
Yeah, have a holiday grace.
Appreciate that.
Next time they'll help you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Get those alligator arms out. Thank you all.
Thank you
Appreciate
very
you.
much, appreciate it.
Motion on the resolution. Yes, so I'm gonna make a motion to read the resolution.
Okay. I get a motion by Scott, and a second. Second by Clay, all in favor, say aye. Opposed?
Now therefore we resolve the Carroll County, the Court of Carroll County, Kentucky, Carroll County Judge Executive is hereby authorized to execute the agreement with the Descendant Facility Partners LLC for Phase 2 of the energy improvement projects and repairs on county-owned facilities, and fiscal court clerk is authorized to assist the signature thereto.
Make the motion to adopt the resolution.
By Scott, second by Clay, all in favor, say aye. Opposed? All right. Been several discussions on county road, and adoption of county road. I've had our road superintendent, excuse me, to review these, and he's went out and reviewed them, and he's made a list, or we have a list of Oak Hill, Sunny Lane off of, Stafford Ridge, and Park Acres, which has been mentioned here. Did core samples, the core samples look good. And one that we haven't for a long time, and we thought it was, but it don't have the utility right away, which is Hospitality Way. That's the one that goes back to the motels back there, so. Basically, right now, just gonna do some discussion. Nick, did you draw up another?
No, because I have questions.
Okay.
You know, when we started talking about this, Scott provided, I think this is from Barron County, their grid that they use. You provided what we're currently doing with the county. I do kind of like, I'm a visual thinker, so I like the grid format. It's an easy to read thing. I guess my question to Jimmy, since Gino's not here, the Barron County has different depths of the base in the DGA based upon what the road is used for, whether it's a local collector or arterial road. We don't have a lot of arterial roads because most of those are state roads. So we're typically dealing with locals and collectors. And our current specs require 6% base, or 6-inch base, sorry. 6-inch base. And that's what would be required on an arterial. Is that necessary for collectors and locals? Or do we want to make that necessary? Because like Barron County, they have a 4-inch on a collector and a 3-inch on a local.
Some of our roads are 4-inch.
Okay. So that's the thing. We may need, I mean, as a cost savings measure too, I mean, there's no sense in putting an interstate grade road in for a subdivision, you know, where we're not going to have truck traffic. If we know we're going to have truck traffic, then obviously let's put the 6-inch base in. But, you know, that can help with some of our cost savings too, what we do. So do we want to differentiate between the types of the road when we're redoing these road specifications? That's just my question. The only thing I got from last time was pavement was, we agreed pavement's gonna be an 18-foot minimum on the roads.
With
Yeah, roads going with, yeah, for roads going with, yeah. I mean, all the rest of the, you know, this is, there's not a whole lot of, I guess, dimension in our road specs like they have in Barron County. So we need to make sure what we want, what we don't want, what we want to power it, and go from there.
So one suggestion I might make, Dr. Adam Kirk at the Kentucky Transportation Center at UK is a great resource. Talk to him anytime. We may want to consult with him and see what his thoughts are on this. I would imagine he'll probably recommend something like that simply because it is kind of, it's that balance between not building it crazily that it's cost effective and so forth. But I mean, that's why I provided it, because to me that makes a lot of sense outside of the width. We made that decision. But I guess with regards to the conversation of adopting these roads, these are all under what we've got today, right?
They're under what we have today.
So what you're proposing would be moving forward.
Right, if you want to change specifications, I thought we were consulting with that engineering firm too. Yeah, about doing some things on that. I mean, I'm not an engineer. I mean, Scott is, but, and no, I mean, you know, everybody's experience, but we need to figure out what is necessary here. And make sure we're not overkilling too and spending unnecessary money on building a Cadillac of a road when we don't need something. I think we all agree we aren't gonna do chip and seal.
No.
Fellow Darrell out here, that's still a thorn, but the only state, the road in the state, I think, is chip seal, but here we are.
But I guess I want to, for the sake of adoption of these roads, this is two separate arguments, or two separate conversations.
Right. My reading of the agenda, we were talking about specifications, but you want to do adoptions.
Yeah.
We want to do these, adopt these 3
I need to know what road.
roads, and there's one other road that's right now labeled DRC, but I've talked to, it's not going to be DRC Lane, it's going to be Croneman Lane, or Croneman Drive, eventually, but I met with them last week on or 2 weeks ago on their plans for the plant out there, and I told them that drive would have to be fixed for plans that have to be, with a culvert put in there by Floyd Lane because it's not draining. And they will take care of that, then we might adopt that. That road has been put in for truck drivers, for trucks anyway, so we should be doing good there, but it would only go so far in there and then we'd have to put a sign in the county road, it would go back into DOC, so.
Typically, when we adopt a road, it comes from the developer. I think the last one we officially adopted was the Hunter Grove subdivision, and that came from Mr. Hinkle, who still owned the common area of the development. So I think we kind of need something from the developer or the property owners to indicate they're wanting us to do this. I know Oak Hill has been in here numerous times. I don't think it's a problem getting Oak Hill to sign off, those residents to say that. But I would like to see something requesting this of the fiscal court.
Well, we can do Sunny Lane and we can have that.
Right, that's a developer, and DRC's a private developer. Park Acres, you might just get a letter signed by all the property owners through there, and I don't think anybody's gonna object.
The only one that's out there right now is requesting that, this is very certain.
You have about 3 houses back in there.
Yeah, he's asked where he's interested.
But that,
Because you're
but
just
see,
like
they're
taking
under
on-
the impression right now that the county's already taking care of it. Okay, so
I know that.
if we pull that string and say the county's not doing it, it's gonna change something.
Well, I'm sure those three homeowners back there are gonna sign off.
So I guess, Nick, how long does it take you to maybe put together a policy or a form or something that we can have them sign? Because again, we have road specifications, but there's really no grid to how we actually.
I just need a simple one-liner saying we're requesting the county take over maintenance of this road and have the property owner sign it.
Simply how you got the form. So if you take a look at the email, there is attachment on there with the form. So we'll take a look. Nick's a busy guy, gets lots of emails, so this one may be under the radar for him, but I'll work with you to get that done, and I guess, Clay, you're interested in this too, because Park Acres is in your district, so we'll try to get that done. But I guess the reason we want to get this done, obviously, snow will be flying here shortly, and I know,
The simple resolution
is when we get out there. Yeah, okay.
Nick, real quick too, Cronet does know that they have to submit something in writing. So when they came to us in the very beginning, I told them that we wanted something in writing. So any businesses that come, I tell them, I'm not gonna put it in front of a judge or you without something in writing saying that they're wanting us to do it.
Drummond knows that, but they haven't done anything yet.
DRC.
Well, that's the.
Well, it's gonna be Cronet, but yeah, the DRC will, Cronet's gonna ask us to take it over.
I don't care whoever owns the roads, the one needs to request it.
It's that Cronet.
It's a big problem. And like I said, somewhere down towards the end of it, we'll have to put in Kenny Road. Because it's going to go on the DRC property and they're not going to, they don't want to be part of that, so. All right. Radio car update. We've really had some problems with the rain and stuff getting things done, but Mike, you got anything extra you want to say?
We've got the dirt all back in place. It's not the smoothest in the world because of all the rain and the mud. And they contacted me yesterday and said they had plans on being here, but that rain didn't.
The same way with the playground equipment, I think we're still don't have all that in right now. Right. Okay.
I do get a few questions on that.
Okay.
On the top, well, this will be more on the equipment side, but as far as the radios and all that, do we have a breakdown of, how many radios are going to the city, how many radios are going to each individual fire departments and things of that nature? Because, the way I say this is, because I know everybody's going to need these. I know the sheriff's going to need radios and EMS and all that. But my thing is who's at the end of the day going to be paying for what? Because we got the city, which they collect taxes. We got fire departments that collect taxes, they're taxing districts, and then we got other ones that do fees. So I was just curious on like a breakdown of where it's going to be broke down, who's paying for what.
So I will say this, and obviously you guys chime in on this. Yes, we have that. We broke down into specifically every entity that has a radio, whether it's county fiscal court, under that umbrella. So even Daniel, you were on that list. Sheriff was on that list. Mr. Llewellyn, you were on that list. So everybody's on there. We got Gent Fire District, West Side, everybody, ambulance, the whole 9 yards. We also looked at who was going to need new radios and to what capabilities. And you can buy a radio that will do everything for you. But a guy at the scene, Clay, can attest, this doesn't need that radio to do everything. So we looked at that. We also looked at radios that are currently in inventory that are still reasonably good and can be updated to be the proper and P25. That's our goal. So yes, we did that. The grant, hopefully again, he's filed because with the federal government and stuff, it's been supposed to open for the last 18 months and we're still waiting. But we have conversations about that. And I know Gent Fire Protection District, they're in reasonably good shape, but they're committed to paying for the upgrade of their radios. Police department, same size. We've had those conversations. Are they all final? I guess Mike can probably say probably not.
Probably
We're not there, but we know where we need to be.
The police department's out kind of on their own. Yeah. I'm not sure that we are dealing with the police department at this point because they use a separate radio, and I don't know if they're ready to change all the way over.
Yeah, exactly.
That's something that's coming in the future, hopefully.
Fire department.
Yes.
The fire departments, EMS, the road department, sheriff's already on the on the P25, or got the radios that will take the P25.
The majority of my new ones,
Can be upgraded too.
They are there, but the police department uses a separate part. I know that the mayor, I talked to the mayor, and he said that when it come down to it, they would pay their portion of whatever it came to. The only one that I hadn't really spoke to was Gent. Sounds like Mr. Knapp has. I was just waiting for, we're not even that far along. I mean,
I actually spoke with Jen earlier. They're either gonna pay for the ones that they have to buy, or they'll reimburse the county or whatever.
Right.
To get them where they need to be. But they also have a lot of radios that can just be upgraded.
Right, upgraded.
Just with
It's not like a lot of expense.
And that's what I've noticed, a lot of the sheriff's department, some of the fire departments, including Gent, have been buying the better radio that can be unchipped for, I think, don't take this price rate, but $100, a chip can be put in it, and it'll work with the P25 is what we're headed towards.
but basically just a license. I think that mine are already there.
Yeah, so if you buy the radio, it's just recoding it, so they have to reprogram it, some of them they have to put a proprietary chip in.
Yeah.
And when you buy a new radio, to Mike's point, again, it's kind of like buying a car. If you want heated seats, that's an upcharge. If you want auto steer, that's enough, so that's the difference between a $4,500 radio and a $1,500 radio. So I think now the other thing, so the radio is one component of this, the other one is all the antenna we need for the system that originally was proposed in the five site system.
Yeah, that's the big.
So that's the other piece of the funding,
Yeah, there's just multiple pieces.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, and then like if the grant goes, if we don't get the grant, then we're out that too.
Yeah, so I guess just kind of summarize where you're at, because I think this is probably what you're asking, Benji. When we initially looked at radios alone, it was gonna be close to $500,000, because everybody was gonna get one, a new one, and all this type of stuff, and I think once we cleaned it up, we're what, 200,000 roughly, somewhere in that ballpark, so it's significantly less.
I think we're like 270,000.
Yeah, we're about 270.
Yeah, so significantly reduced that number, because it was nuts.
And two, don't get me wrong, but I think some of the things that we did, and I know the road department may throw something at me for this, but the grant only covers like fire department, emergency management. So what we was trying to do, like the sheriff's department may get all brand new radios, but we may ask for theirs to take to the road department, because the grant does not cover the road department. So there was some other looking at trying to do things to save money. Instead of just going out and buying all these radios, we was going to replace like the sheriff's and maybe the ambulance services. I think maybe being able to take them and we could put those with like the road department. So they would get new ones, road department will get the used ones, but just like sheriff's, you put some in just recently, haven't you?
Yes.
Last year, so they're not really that old of a radio either that would be going to the road department. Just trying to get everybody on the same frequency or playground so that if there is a large emergency, they can talk to each other, because that's one of the things that we're running into right now is we don't have that from the road department. I know the water company's looking at, Carroll Water looking to go up to it in the radios. I'm not 100% sure yet, but, with the tower, I had to send out letters to different, organizations to see if they want to continue to utilize the towers. I've not heard much from anyone besides Carroll Water District, and the school board. School board coming and met with us as well. So I have a second letter getting ready to go back out to the ones that we haven't heard anything from to, kind of see where they're at, because once we get the tower up, hopefully it won't take but maybe a week to actually change things over, maybe two, again, depending on weather, because we're going in towards, you know, December, January, so there might be some other issues with the weather. I was hoping to have all this done by January 1st, but I'm afraid some of that's already backsliding because of the wet weather.
I'm gonna make a comment about this radio system, and a lot of people out there probably don't know or don't understand. The tower that we were on up on Mount Hill fell, so we lost our communications. That's why we're going to do this, to replace this and get a better system than we have had. The thing we're renting with a different company, and in this particular moment, that would be now in the home. So I just want people to understand, we just didn't go out on a limb to do this, it was a necessity thing, because we were out of communications, we didn't have anything. So, while we're on now, it's temporary, until we get our tower up and going, and then we'll go from there. I want to make sure people understand, we didn't just go out there and spend the money because we wanted to, it was a have-to thing, so. Thank you.
There's one tower up there that's gonna come back down, and nobody, they won't even find it, they take it down, that's the reason why they put new equipment on it. They're just gonna cut it loose and let it come down, so it's dangerous, you can go there anytime, but yeah. Looks like it's blowing in the wind.
300 feet of that's kind of scary.
So anyway, just update on the radio stuff.
Appreciate it.
If you need any more, then let us know. We've got a bunch of paperwork on these stuff, so. Department head, Hope Center, got Nancy Broad, any questions for Nancy or anything? Nancy, anything?
Just December's gonna be busy. We are closed 2 weeks for Christmas. And like I talked to you all about, maybe getting the van checked out and brakes.
Once you get the trips done here, then we can take it, we might take it out to the road department exam to look at it if we can.
And, after the 18th, I'll take it down there, drop it off, and then they can look at it at their convenience.
Yeah. Just want to make sure you have it for your trips.
Pardon me?
Make sure you have it for your trips.
Yes. And then we had 2 visitors come by last week, I believe it was, that actually had worked at Camp Kysock in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And they were very pleasantly pleased with the camp. They, one was visually impaired in the past, and now she's completely blind. So that they were describing everything to her. But they were counselors in the past when there was camps, and they would come and spend, I don't know, the whole summer here.
One of them worked there for the
They were very, very pleased with everything that has happened at Camp Kysock, and they wanted to make sure that I had told you all that they love what you all are doing. We do have, the hospital is coming next week, and actually going to make an ornament with the kids, adults. And then when we go to the hospital, their ornaments are going to be hung on a Christmas tree there at the hospital. And the hospital is also buying each one of the adults a Christmas present. We have Santa Claus coming on the 18th, so he always brings them something. I have an individual that has reached out, and they are also giving them a stocking and asked about the, allergies and all that kind of stuff. Plus, we draw names and stuff, so they are faring very well out there. So they are excited about Christmas and everything else. So I think it's going to be a great ending to December.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Dispatch didn't send me anything that they did. I missed it, but usually they send it early on, and I might have given it to you in the last report or whatever. And, solid waste, PJ, you have your, other than your report?
I just wanted to explain what I put in the packet. We had talked about the composting facility last time. So this was like the latest update of his corrective action plan that the site supervisor gave, and then some pictures of the new equipment. And I think that these are like types of misters and aerators, the fans, it's in the pictures, the odor absorbers. I know that when I went past there Sunday, there was still a smell.
It was miserable yesterday.
Yeah.
So do we have any idea of this technology? Has it been proven anywhere? I mean, because it seems like they just set up shop and it's been 6+ months and they're still trying to figure out how to run it. I mean, I looked at their website and it's
Scott, they have facilities all over the place, and I guarantee you every one of them stinks as bad as one of
I
them.
mean, I looked at the web, it wasn't so impressive. I mean, it looks nice, but it's like we're just mixing stuff together.
Well, I did go to a SWANA meeting, which is the Solid Waste of North America, this past week, and there was a guy there that's been doing composting for a lot of years. He, later on, maybe after the first year, said he would come in and talk to us because he is very big on composting. He said if you do it right, there is a way to get to a spot where there's not that smell. It is compost, I mean, but it's like, if you go there, I mean, I actually I stuck my nose right to the composting pile. It does not stink.
I have a compost bin at home, and most times if I keep the stirred stuff, it's fine. If I don't, it turns, you can get
Yeah. So I'm not sure, and, and if you see my report, I went there with 2 other ladies from the EPA. They did the air quality testing. They have failed 7 out of the 8 or something. I think they passed 1. But they also are working with the Division of Water. I have not talked to that person. He's hard to get hold of, but just kind of wait. They're going to turn that. They talk to the judge and they are going to turn it into their enforcement department on the EPA side. They don't have to take it. They may decide that they don't want to, that it's okay. They may or may not take the case or whatever you want to say it, but they're supposed to stay in contact with us and let us know what they're doing on their part, and we're going to collaborate with them. At this point, I mean, I don't know. It's just like a property owner. If they're trying to make things better, and they are working toward doing different things.
Well, I can figure out how Canyon Lake down 36 and spray it, but it ain't gonna make it better.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just face it. I mean, I'm all for education, the guy coming to talk to us, but this is not our problem. This is their problem, and they need to fix it. We're the ones who are gonna issue the consequences, or the EPA is gonna do it if they don't fix it. I don't know why we're educating ourselves how to fix their process.
I mean, this is what we're dealing with. There's a picture here of a piece of equipment that Bride's run for 50 years, and they've tied some 55-gallon drums with the demister on it, and that's our solution. I mean, I'm like, this is a mom and pop shop. Benji, it's in your.
Yeah, I mean, the knowledge bank,
I know, I am as well.
So what, I guess the next question is, what can we, I mean, legally, what can we do?
The bigger hammer, if the EPA takes it, are we talking state EPA or federal?
This would be state.
State, okay. So we do have some local contacts also with the state. So we need to, that's the bigger hammer. If the state EPA or the fed EPA will take it, then let's let them take it. If not, then let's coordinate and see, get at least their data, so that helps us going into court. They're the ones that administer the air quality test, and that proves this is a nuisance itself. So I need that contact information. We need to start working with them.
Okay.
And we've talked with Nick about this too. It's not just something we've been sitting aside doing nothing. PJ and Nick and me met one day about it, and the thing is it is over. The state is looking at it, and we was still hoping that the state will go ahead and forward with it, so that it doesn't fall back on us. Because the state will have more teeth involved and everything than what we can.
My only concern with the state or fed though, depending on what you're testing for, this stuff It may not be a carcinogen. It may not kill you. It may make you sick, and they may say, we're not gonna do anything about it. It's kind of like a hog farm or, you know, a feedlot or something like that. But nuisance, and I think, you know, we did all the nuisance work. I think Nick commented, you know, something, the definition of a nuisance kind of loosey-goosey, but if there's multiple people saying this is a significant impact on my quality of life, this is a nuisance.
I get calls, I get calls every single day. Scott's getting calls, District 3, you know, the judge is getting, Clay's getting them, we're all getting calls, and it's just, you know, I mean, we gotta put teeth in the game and get something done.
I think we need to contact our two we talked to last week or so, tell them we want to move forward now. Get it, if they're not going to enforcement, then we'll get with Nick and then we'll just get it. We gotta do something, and you got all the other readings and
Yeah, they sent
stuff.
me all the documentation for that.
But we gotta do something after the call yesterday. You know, it's no way that we gotta do something. There's no way of things left on it. So we move forward and get with Nick and we'll go forward with the county attorney. So that's my recommendation, because I'm like the rest of them, we've played around with this long enough and listened to them and whatever. But it's time to take action one way or the other, and if they have to go out of business, then so be it, you know. We can't, it's not just coming from people 136 and whatever, it's the people traveling back and forth, and it's drifting across the river sometimes or another too. So, I mean, I've gotten calls from over there and different things, so it's time to jump on it. All right, thank you all.
Thank you.
The animal shelter director, Teresa, have anything other than your report?
Yes, that's it.
Okay.
So I guess I am curious, because she made a good question here, top priority here about the ordinance and the manual, so where are we at? I guess maybe that in your docket or on that, okay. And then where are we at on dog ordinance?
Well, we've had a couple people we talked to, and then we put it on Indeed, and I don't know if we've got any.
That's 15 applications.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say right
Okay. We've reviewed a little bit on this, but, you know, anyway. Right. So, we just have to move forward with that. Senior Center, Frances texted me this morning, they had something going on, wanted to know if I could miss today. I said, sure. The calendar for December was in your packet. So, moving forward, road department supervisor, Jimmy's here. Do you have anything other than what was in the report? I know we've all been busy with FEMA also, traveling around with them and everything.
So the only question I have on the roads, because I can ask it here during my time, but do we have any idea whether Hinkle's going to be able to hit some of these critical places? I talked to Gino, I think 10 days ago, and he's like, yeah, we got to get Black Rock.
Hinkle is going to pave out there at the church at Warfield tomorrow.
Okay.
And then they're gonna do another road out there, or is there another road that he mentioned something about?
Black Rock and Briar Fork, where you got.
He just said he was going to start the church tomorrow, and then they was gonna shut down and be back December the 1st.
Okay, so as long as weather allows, we're
As
still
long as
hoping to get them done.
As long as it stays 40+ degrees and we don't get any ice and snow, we're still good to go.
And I guess if not, we'll just.
He'll pick it up in the spring, as we see it.
Yeah.
You know, and I know.
And then Dave, I also had one to quit, so I'm gonna need to look
Yeah,
at it
we're
again.
gonna post that. We had an employee that quit yesterday and everything, so. But we've got that posted on Indeed right now, so we'll see what we do. Okay. Parks and Rec, JP, you got anything additional?
No.
Okay. On maintenance, Rick, you got anything?
No, not really. Everybody's up to speed with what's going on.
Okay, Rick been following up, keeping lights going and following up, staying up with the people working on the playground and everything too, so. EMS director and EMA director is Mike Radcliffe. He's not here. He has another meeting he's involved in. I do want to bring something up for him that was, but his report was, should have got it this morning. You might have emailed it, but I'll make copies. Okay. Just for to let you know on what, on Mike, he's got a letter here. He's been accepted. So it says, congratulations, my pleasure to inform you, you have been selected. Sorry. To participate in the Kentucky Office of Rural Health, Kentucky EMS Leadership Academy, which will run from January through June 26th. There was only 16 available slots. Mike was one of them. This year's academy is included in a combination of virtual learning experience, and it breaks down what all it is. He has a scholarship for this. It's provided by the Kentucky Ambulance Provider Association, covering the registration of 2026 for this EMS conference and expo. So continued edge, credits and all that he got. But this is kind of it's an award type thing that not too many people get in, but he did qualify. And like I said, there was only 16 available slots, so it's kind of a move up. So you got that letter the other day. All right, moving forward. Director of Government, Matt.
Yeah, just one thing real quick on Ascendant. So the energy savings phase one part of the project, they're pretty much almost completely done with that. There's a few things like the solar, we're waiting for the panels and stuff. But regarding the energy savings portion of it, I know the last 2 weeks when the insulation and building envelope people came in, there was a little hiccup on where they were going, if they were contacting people. Rick and I had a meeting, Rick and I got Ascendant online, and that is where we are now moving forward. From here on out, there's going to be a look-ahead email and meeting with Ascendant every Friday. They're going to tell us what's going on. I'm going to get with Rick. Rick and I are going to make sure that everybody's on the same page, and Ascendant has made all of their contractors aware that they have to stick to that timeline that's sent out on Friday. So if they divert from that timeline, they have to either contact Rick or myself, so we can reach out to any department and let them know what's going on. So I know there's some hiccups where building envelope and insulation went out early to a site. People were confused, they weren't sure what was going on. Rick and I weren't even sure because they didn't tell us they were going early. We've gotten that fixed with Ascendant and their contractors. That will not be happening again. So.
Unexpected when people start working.
Right, no, it happens, but
I gotta set up the boundaries and.
You gotta put it together, it's just gonna take a little time. So. We got the report from our jailer, Daniel Rose. We have a report in the packet. Anything additional, Daniel?
No, just, they started at the jail on the plumbing, and I think they finished that. We got a couple of hiccups that they're trying to line out for us. Had some lighting, some LED done, and they started on the insulation. So everything's going pretty smooth though. So they're working really quickly.
So excited to get your new roof here pretty soon?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So that'll help a lot.
The only problem with some of the plumbing, the new system they put in, they have reset areas on them. But now I've got 8 toilets right now that are down. But I have called Ryan. Ryan has just called me when I left the room a while ago, and he's got a gentleman coming today to look and see what the problem is. I mean, there's no problem to reset them, but we reset them and try to flush them, they still won't flush.
So your cooler and everything, did that get all done?
Yeah, and actually they're going to start on that.
I think the second week of December.
Yeah.
Okay, so Merry Christmas.
We just met with them last week about that, so they finally got all the stuff in.
Okay. Coroner called me, he's unable to attend, he said he didn't have nothing really to bring up. Anything, so, also, Bill Lewis is here from 3CDC. Do you have anything you want to address the court about?
Sure, thank you, Judge. I'll just give a quick update on that with our track team last week that's the Trail Association of Carroll County. I took over for Caleb Matt, he stepped down, but so kind of leading this, there's a local group of citizens who love trails. Exciting news for 2026, we are on the docket with the Kentucky Department for Public Health to start a citywide, it'll turn into a countywide master plan for pedestrian paths and bike paths. One of the topics of discussion was the bridge, because part of that bridge reconstruction is adding in a bike or pedestrian path on that. So that'll tie into a total master plan for the city and for the county. So it's a 3-month-long project that'll start in 26, and then 27 will turn into the feasibility study portion of it and figure out how we're going to fund some of this. But that is exciting news. Also submitted a request to one of our local industry partners for to help fund the Kaisak Trail project, which is about $5,000 to do 2 pedestrian bridges, some gravel paths and clearing, things like that. And we've got that going. So yes, so exciting news with some updates on the trails.
If you're doing that, Bill, will you be sure on your master plan include your small cities?
Yes, sir.
The city of Jet is working on some planning right now.
Yep.
With their sidewalks and trying to connect parks up there. And each of the, the county made a great investment in the small cities years ago, putting parks in each of the small cities. So we can add some more safe pedestrian paths and things to the.
Yeah, I mean, so the long-term goal definitely is to have trails that will connect the entire county with all of our smaller cities and run up the Kentucky River, the Ohio River. So once we get to that portion, I'll definitely tie Matt into the county-wide stuff. But yeah, that's a long-term goal for sure.
Plug for Jet's on the river too.
Yes. Yep.
So with that, I know the Northern Kentucky Area Development District is going to be meeting with Jen. I'm sorry?
We already did.
They're going again.
Yeah,
I know, and so Katie Drive's going to go there, so yeah, but if they already met, yeah, we're going again.
We can connect those 2 efforts because if we're part of a master plan, that helps.
Right, yeah, and so I'll kind of build on that.
Okay. Just comment. I want to thank Eileen again for being here and their presentation. I think it's really great to move forward and use our schools and our students and doing things like this. So I think it's going to be a benefit for the county and a benefit for the county park and everything. If you have any questions, you've got one of us, JP or whatever, and you can ask it out and discuss it. Do want to let them know that PJ, our solid waste, and Matt and Jimmy and the rest of the road department has been involved in FEMA. They've been in and out of here for the last 2 weeks. I think we've got everything done now. Mapped out and whatever. We've added a couple of different spaces or places that need to be looked at. Hopefully, we don't know what the time schedule is on all that stuff, but we have met with them and they're still being, DJ stays up with them pretty constantly to make sure everything's moving forward. Sheriff, do you have anything to bring up that I didn't?
No, we'll be meeting on the task force on
December 5th.
Yeah, December 5th.
So we're still having important, we'll meet, December 5th at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
So that's the drug task force, so we're still moving forward with that. I basically don't have anything else other than what I mentioned earlier on. I will bring this up about you should have an invite in for Christmas dinner here for the county employees on the 17th at Camp Kaisak. And also, there was, I think I put it in the yellow basket, I don't know if I did, on Community Day Development, or I might have forwarded it to you through an email. That's at JCTC campus, and that's on December 11th, 6 to 7:30, and that Northern Kentucky has involved in that, so if y'all want to make time to get out there for that, that's another good thing, so. Basically, that's all I have. Go down to the county attorney comments. Nick?
Judge, I've given you all an amended ordinance on ordinance number 9416, which is our ethics code. I would propose that the court consider amending on page 3, which strikes out the hospital board. The hospital board is not a taxing entity as it is in some counties. I would say in 1994, when all these ordinances were passed statewide and the legislation came down, you did have some county-owned hospitals. Our county does not own the hospital. It's an independent body. Unlike all the other agencies that are listed here, they are either taxing districts or special purpose governmental entities, and the hospital is not one of those. It's a private nonprofit. So I would recommend that we amend the ordinance to strike the hospital board from the requirements of the ethics ordinance.
Okay, so that's what this is for, right?
Yes, that's the summary ordinance.
So are we in a position to do that, and that sounds pretty reasonable.
And usually don't bring stuff on you, but then
no,
fits.
I'm not going to say, is he prepared to do the first reading on it? I would make a motion to go ahead and perform the first reading on the
Nick, I think we can do that with the first reading, can you?
Okay.
Make a motion, Scott, second by Clay, all in favor say aye. Opposed? First reading.
The Carroll County Fiscal Court has adopted an ordinance that amends ordinance number 9416, the ethics ordinance of Carroll County. The board briefly accept ordinance to amend the ethics ordinance to remove the Carroll County Memorial Hospital Board from the ordinance's jurisdiction and applicability. Full text of the ordinance is on file at the office of the Carroll County Clerk, where it may be inspected.
Okay, and motion to accept the reading.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Clay, second by Scott, all in favor say aye. Opposed?
Okay, the other things I've put in front of you today, these are the two priority policies that Ms. Hines has been working on, who's our HR consultant. She has drafted a new sexual harassment policy for the county and a new drug-free workplace policy for the county. So I've given you those for informational purposes, so we can look forward to on December the 9th, going forward with the first reading to amend the policy manual to include those in it. Also, Roger has for you all, Ms. Hines has gone through and done her recommendations on the policy manual as a whole after her full review. Those are there for you if you all want to look at those. Ask me any questions, or I can put you in touch with Ms. Hines if you have any questions as well. She has recommended problem areas and also additions and corrections that need to be made to bring us in full compliance with state and federal law, so, and best practices of the industry.
Sorry, so you may have said this, so what's the timeline for getting this reviewed and starting to act?
This one's probably gonna take a little bit more time to have a first reading on it, because there's questions and stuff that I have to go through myself as well.
I'll read it after.
But I wanted you all to have that started.
Yep.
That's all I have, Judge. Thank you.
Okay. All right, Masters comments, we'll start with Benji if you want.
Yeah, over here. Oh, well, I know what it was. Well, I was gonna touch bases on smell, but we done did that, so don't need to bring that back up. And then the other thing I had was the Vance Road, where we talked about with the creek and all that stuff.
Vance?
Yeah.
I can give you an update on that. Is that what we talked about yesterday?
Yeah.
We did take the FEMA inspectors out there yesterday, and they took pictures and looked at that, we added it to the list. Since that wasn't on the original list, they sent me an email, we just have to sign off that we want to add these additional roads to that, and they'll just put it on the list that we already have, and go from there, it'll be added just like the rest of the roads. I think we've got like 27 roads we've looked at, and the majority of those have more than one site. What they do when we do a site, it's like under a DI, which is a damage inventory. If it's like one Vance and there was more than one, they'll do site 1, site 2, site 3. So they'll just put in a cost analysis for that. Was that one to bid to be determined, or that one was off? So to be determined, project is basically, they'll send a second set of inspectors out, which will be like a EHP, which deals with environmental. They'll look at it, and we'll kind of have more of a cost of what we need to do. If it's mitigation, we'll build it back bigger, stronger, whatever, or we can build it back the same way. Because it looks like those blocks on this side of the road, this side held really good. The rest of those are out, but it is added to that, so it is on the FEMA project right now.
Are we gonna just pull the blocks out of the creek for now, or on the side, or?
I don't know, we'll have to look
I
at it.
don't know how we're
It's
going
blocking
to
the
pick
flow
up
of
out of
water to
there.
some degree.
Do what?
It's blocking the flow of water to some degree, to make it full up, so.
That's tightening it up, so we'll have to have the road department go out there and look at that and see if we can, how we can do that. Plus, if we get in that creek, we're gonna permit on it too, so.
We're gonna have to get in there.
So you might start looking at that, if we have to get in that creek, so.
No, not where it's at, it's just in a trees, terrible spot.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else, Benji?
No, that's it, sir, thank you.
Okay, Clay?
Don't have a lot, just, they're gonna do the Jackson Road, get that taken care of. Thanks for doing that. And just watch out for anything when the weather's coming up on us. So be aware of it, stay safe out there.
Scott?
Yeah, conversation this morning knocked both of my bullet points out here. The only one I had was, again, if there's been any conversation with Civil Con or who might be going to as far as starting to investigate road widening. And I know spring will be here before we know it. And we're going to have a busy paving season because we got one this year. So we can start those conversations sooner rather than later.
Silicon didn't come last week, so I'll have to follow up and see why they didn't show up or whatever. But double check.
Other than that, no. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Short week.
Okay. Don't think we have anything for executive
I
session.
do just got one more thing, I wanna, Jimmy, I wanna, pass my time, I'm sorry. Jimmy, I wanna thank y'all for the Motrin out on Locust, out in District 1. Cindy, y'all been hard at it. Ryan, I wanna let you know, I've got a lot of comments about deputies patrolling the county, doing a good job. And everybody keep up the work. Thankful for everybody that's here and everything you do, and everybody have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've got some guests here. Anybody has anything they want to bring up, talk about? No? Okay. And we have nothing for executive session, so we need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Craig, second by Benji. All in favor?